Hi, my name is Tyler Garcia. This is Much Ado About Cooking, a podcast for home cooks by home cooks. Today I am with Alexander Rosenwald, a home cook. Hello, Rosie.
Hi.
Hi.
It's nice to be
also
here.
known as Rosie. This is Nova. She'll be joining us. Oh. Okay, so let's get to it. Why are you qualified to talk about cooking?
Because I do it a lot.
Yeah.
And it's something that I think that I take some pride in. It's something I really... It's one of the things where I feel like I can express myself well.
Okay.
And it just puts a lot of joy into my life. So let's talk about it.
How long have you been cooking for yourself or in general?
Exclusively for myself, when I moved into my first apartment a couple years ago, I started getting interested in learning how to cook in high school. But living at home, I didn't always have time. But probably about 2 years that I've been regularly cooking all of my meals.
What is your favorite thing to cook?
My favorite thing to cook in general, probably chicken gnocchi soup. It's very simple. Easy, just veggies, chicken, gnocchi, some broth, some bouillon. It's delicious without being difficult. It doesn't take too long. And it's just a nice hearty meal without being too heavy. It's got everything I need out of a meal.
Cooking meals that you're proud of takes a lot of skill. How long did it take you to create meals that you were proud of, or are you proud of your meals and your skills right now?
I would say I'm proud of the skills that I've got, and some of the meals that I make on a regular basis. I think I was a quick learner when it came to food. My mom's always been an excellent cook, and I learned a lot watching her. That's not to say that there weren't some stumbling blocks on the way there. Definitely some stinkers came out of my mother's kitchen when I was first learning. But right now I'm reasonably happy with where I'm at.
And so, did your mom inspire you in many ways to cook, or you just?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. No. We always grew up watching Food Network. A lot of Alton Brown in the household. I appreciate what she does. We always had meals that were nutritious and still delicious. No boiled Brussels sprouts on our table. I always like to make fun of her a little bit and tell her that I think I'll be a great cook one day because I learned from a good cook. But she was a big inspiration there.
Is she your biggest inspiration, or do you have other people that?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
I did, like I said, I watched a lot of Food Network. I don't think there's any one individual, person that kind of taught me how to cook, or from TV that I would call out as being the number one. So yeah, definitely my mom's on top of that totem pole.
And on that note, what was the hardest skill for you to learn in cooking?
Patience.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it before. If something's taking too long, or I've already got this predetermined idea of what's supposed to be happening and it's not going the way that I want, I'll usually fuss over it until I make it worse. Mm-hmm. So we could use some improvement. Yeah.
And what is something that you wish to learn, in the skill of cooking?
My knife skills are terrible. Yeah. I would love to learn how the pros cut vegetables so fast and cut their meat up so efficiently. It'll take a lot of practice. I think I'll get there one day, but maybe that just means I need to eat more veggies.
Yeah. Well, we do cook a lot of veggies in the household. What is your favorite meal with veggies in it?
Do you count cucumber as a vegetable?
Yes.
Okay. Those pita wraps. Do like a kind of South Asian inspired chicken seasoning. I mean, it's not going to be super authentic, but it's a good combination of flavors. Mm-hmm. Just put that on pita with a fresh chopped cucumber, fresh chopped tomato, some whatever sauce you might have. I don't remember what we did last time.
Did we do sour cream? I think we did sour cream.
I don't think we did, but for the sake of the podcast, I'll say yes.
I thought it was sour cream. It was like a white sauce.
A lot of white sauces out there.
Okay. What meals would you like to cook?
A meal that I'd like to learn, man. I struggle with making sauces, just in general. Like I don't really know how to do like a creamy Alfredo sauce type of thing. I can do like a very simple reduction or something, but now most of the sauce I put in my food is store bought. I'd like to learn how to do it myself.
Do you have a favorite pasta dish or something that you want to make with pasta?
We make the chicken and gnocchi pasta sometimes, which is good. The sauce we buy is pretty good for what it is. But I think we could definitely make it better if I learned how to make an actual creamy sauce from scratch.
We should learn how to make gnocchi, I think.
From scratch?
Yeah, I mean, we both potatoes.
Oh, you're saying too much.
No?
I don't know. I've made fresh pasta before, and that's really hard. That was blood, sweat, and tears.
But it can be done.
It can be done.
And it's easy-ish. It's just taking a lot of patience.
We'll see.
So, on that note, what is your favorite dish that you've cooked this month? Or this week? Either or.
Well, I already kind of brought it up in the last segment, but those pita wraps were really delicious. I'd like to make those again soon. I can barely remember what I ate for breakfast this morning, so who knows what I've eaten this month. But for the sake of having one clear answer, we'll say the Indian style pita wraps.
Okay. What's your least favorite dish? Maybe not in terms of like you just don't like cooking it, but maybe it was like bad, you could improve on it.
I think for this, the first thing that comes to mind is that the miso soup we had, where it was just the udon, the leeks, and the tofu. Mm-hmm. I think it was okay, but I'd like to try it again when we have some more time to cook. Because it was 4 ingredients, miso paste out of a bottle.
Yeah.
I'd like to work a little harder on that, not just do something easy.
What do you think you could improve on it? Like,
I'd like to keep it vegetarian.
Okay.
But I think that there's more that could be put in there.
Mm-hmm.
Just what you see when you might go to a ramen shop: mushrooms or bamboo shoots or mung beans.
Oh, that'd be good. Oh, that would be really good. What do you think is the worst dish you ever cooked?
There was this curry in high school where I made every misstep that I could. I cut the onions to the wrong size when I seasoned them, and I added too much seasoning, so they didn't cook properly. Starting the curry with the onions so you can add the other ingredients later. I added way too much coconut milk, so it didn't properly mix with the flavors, and it was just kind of a unevenly seasoned onion milk soup. Mm-hmm. And then I tried to thicken it with cornstarch slurry,
no.
But being 17, I just knew add cornstarch. That makes sauces thicker. So I dumped dry cornstarch right in there, and the entire dish went right in the garbage after about 2 bites.
Wasn't it like clumpy?
White flecks of cornstarch all over.
I tried to do that with beans.
With beans?
Like the canned pinto beans. I tried putting cornstarch in there.
I'm sure we're not the only the only 2 young cooks to make that mistake.
I also did that with curry.
You did it twice.
With the Japanese curry.
Uh-huh. And like the out of a box?
Yeah. And then so it was like clumpy, and then like the steak cubes.
Mm-hmm.
You're just fucking tough.
Ooh.
You're tough. It's like, I don't know.
Well, we can try curry again sometime.
We should do that. I think that's a really easy meal to make. Mm-hmm. It's just the little block, cut up your veggies, a little bit of stock,
Yeah, we could do it.
Beef stew cubes instead of, I don't even know what I used. Maybe it was beef stew. I didn't cook it for long enough. Or I cooked it too quickly. I didn't do it like in a crock pot or anything. I did it on like just the stove in like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, you can't rush it.
Yeah.
Not something like that.
What is the okay? I've already asked you what the best meal was, and I already asked you the worst. Give me a recipe that you like making, and go through it if you can, as best as you possibly can.
It's a big ask. I'll do easy recipe.
Okay, easy. That's fine.
I'll talk about the chicken soup that I was talking about before.
Okay.
I'll get a carrot, celery, onion. Just to keep things simple, making it after work, I'll get a whole rotisserie chicken from HEB. First goes in the chopped veggies. We just saute those together for a good while with some salt, some pepper, some herbs, and olive oil. For the fans at home that might not know, that combination of veggies is mirepoix, a French word. Don't ask me how to spell it.
Okay, fancy.
In a separate pot, if I have the time to do it all from scratch, I'll take all the meat off of the rotisserie chicken, boil that for a while to get some stock, and then add that stock into the pot with the veggies and get everything mixed together. Throw in some red wine vinegar and just let that simmer together for a while. And then once it's just about ready, we'll boil the gnocchi in a separate pot just with water, dump it in the soup, throw the chicken from the rotisserie chicken in the soup, and call it a day. Maybe toast some bread on the side.
That sounds so good. We should make that sometime this week. Well, okay. I don't know. It's too cold. It's too warm for soup now.
Mm-hmm.
It's too warm.
Climate change keeping us from our soups.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, on that note, what is a tip that you have for someone who's afraid to start cooking, or, like, oh, I'm just a bad cook,
I think people that are afraid to cook think it's a lot more complicated than it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'll see a cooking show and people are making crazy stuff, or they'll see a baking recipe with all the precise ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Where cooking, you really don't have to be that precise with anything. I mean, get your meat up to the right temperature, so you don't get food poisoning. But see, I very rarely measure out my seasonings.
Yeah, that's true. We just
kind of throw it on there and taste as you go. Usually turns out pretty well. I'm sure if I wrote down my recipes, I could get them, closer to perfection. But I prefer to just cook kind of free form. So I just tell them, just start simple. Avoid the complicated Food Network recipes. You're not going to be Alton Brown right away. You're not going to beat Bobby Flay.
Yeah.
Just, take some chicken, throw the seasonings you like on there, make some rice, make some broccoli, put it together. It's not going to be restaurant quality, but it's something healthy that you made for yourself, and it's something you can be proud of.
Yeah. What's like an easy meal that you would cook when you're living by yourself? You're just didn't know what to make. You're tired.
Living by myself, beef stir fry. Super easy. Just put your thin sliced beef, marinate that in some soy sauce with all your with some various veggies. There's lots of recipes out there. Various seasonings in the soy sauce, I meant. And then just steam some veggies, throw the meat in there, throw the veggies in there, throw some noodles in there. And you can do that with just noodles from a ramen packet if you're that new to cooking. And it won't be 5 stars, but it'll be good. Pretty hard to mess up.
Yeah. What about let's see. Easy to cook meal. What is a meal that you just can't stand cooking anymore, or you don't feel like cooking all that much because it's either hard or
there's a dish I made in college that I'll never make again from the Binging with Babish cookbook. It's the wild mushroom soup from Seinfeld, from the Soup Nazi episode.
Uh-huh.
And it took like 2 hours of chopping mushrooms and simmering them and reducing them and adding more liquid and simmering them and reducing them and then blending them and then simmering them again to end up with a dish that I didn't like.
And tasted like earth, probably.
It tasted like earth, and I don't even like mushrooms, but I was hanging out with a vegetarian friend, and that was the only vegetarian restaurant or recipe in the whole cookbook.
Oh, man.
So we will not be revisiting that one.
It doesn't. I love mushrooms, but that doesn't sound very good or very, like, rewarding.
It's a big pile of, like, sliced, sauteed button mushrooms in the middle. Which...
I don't think I like that. Speaking of, like, binging with Babish, what is your favorite media that has cooking in it as, like, main, like, element or main theme?
Well, you know I love The Bear.
Yes.
That's been an exciting show to watch. Can't wait for season 3. But overall, probably go with something a little more reality-based. Good Eats. Hosted by Alton Brown. That was the one that was always on TV when I was a kid.
Okay.
It was engaging for both a kid and for an adult to watch. He made easy stuff. He made hard stuff. He made everything very accessible. Big part of the reason, a big reason why the network's as big as it is. So I think that show was pretty important to my childhood, just with how it made me kind of have an appreciation for what goes into what I eat.
On the note of accessibility, what is a meal? I know that it's kind of like in the same genre, but what's a meal for someone who's just like really bad at cooking that's accessible for them to make, that they can't really mess up? Because I think you can mess up stir fry.
You can mess up stir fry.
I think you can mess up stir fry.
You can mess up anything with chicken in it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
A pasta dish.
Yeah.
Just you can get, you can keep it simple. You can get a jar of sauce. You can boil some pasta. Grate some cheese on top. Yeah. Chicken would probably be a good bet, but any meat.
That's what kind of messes it up.
That's the scary part
Yeah.
for someone that's kind of afraid of the kitchen, but just keep that thermometer nearby. If it turns out a little dry, that's okay. No one's expecting you to be a Michelin star chef right away.
Right. Yeah.
But half the meal's done for you. You got your pasta, you got your sauce. It's about as easy as it gets.
Would you say that maybe being a little more accessible, we could do like canned chicken? Well, probably wouldn't taste very good.
You could. I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't either. But I practice cooking chicken, so now I know. But you could start out at canned chicken and then
they could
work your way up.
They could start at canned chicken, but I don't think they're ever going to improve at making meat if they're relying on.
That's true.
Canned
that
chicken.
Is true. Why do you believe it's important to cook?
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's an easy way to monitor your health. You know what's coming in and out of your body. Hopefully you know what's coming out of your body. You'll save money. But the most important thing is just that it's incredibly satisfying when you get a dish right. And people that are afraid of getting their hands dirty and getting in the kitchen, they're never going to know that. It's not like it's hard to make something delicious. You just got to have a little faith and be willing to fail once or twice. It's something any adult, I think, should know how to do, provided that you're able.
Yeah. That was a good answer. That was a very good answer. Well, thank you so much for all of your wisdom, Rosie, Alexander Rosenwald.
You're welcome.
I learned a lot, and yeah. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I hope your viewers learned a lot.
Yeah.
For the people at home, I was in a tragic go-karting incident today. My ribs are in quite a bit of pain, so thank you for listening to me. Thank you for listening to the episode, and I will hopefully speak to you again from an ice bath.
Womp womp. Thank you so much for listening to Much Ado About Cooking. I hope you guys like this first episode, and I'm so excited to do more.
Please subscribe if you want to see more of this, and please let me know what you'd like to hear about, any guests you'd like me to have, or any more tips and recipes that I can put on my show.